morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you are watching us from. Thank you so much for being in our channel once again today. We appreciate to all our new subscribers, our new viewers, and to every person that has viewed our stories on YouTube. Thank you so much for the feedback. Thank you so much for the support. We don't take that for granted. So on our today's episode, I first of all want to welcome all of you. And today we have an interesting guest that I am interested to hear his story. I pray that every story that we share on our channel is going to change your life and give you hope. He's going to tell us who he is. Karibu sana.
Yes. Thank you. Yes.
Welcome to our channel, Slick Media Kenya. And thank you for being our one of our viewers. I know you've recently viewed our stories.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, and we really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Karibu sana, tuambie who are you?
Yes.
And yes, welcome to our channel.
Thank you so much. My name is Nicholas Ombewa.
Yes.
I come from Siaya County. Yes, I am the second born in a family of 7, but currently we are 6. Yes.
Yeah. Karibu sana. So maybe Nicholas, you can tell us, because now this episode is my journey episode. Like, where have you come from? What have you been up to?
All right.
Yes.
All right. So it's a long story, but I'll try to cut it short.
Yes.
Yes, for the interest of time. Yeah, so I was bred there up to primary level, and then I moved to Kisumu when I joined Form 1. Yes, so once when we were on holiday in high school, I used to go to Kisumu to stay with my uncle. Yeah, so maybe a brief history of also my linear family, my nuclear family. My mom got married to my dad, and they stayed together for 2.5 years, and yeah, they separated. She went with me to my granny's place, and therefore I stayed with my grandmother for quite considerable time. And then my granny passed away in 2004, and I went to stay with my mom, where she also got married again. Yes,
so all these, the 7 children are not from the same family?
No, we have three dads. Yes, because the firstborn has her dad, and then my dad with my sister, yes, who is following me, and then the next siblings also have their dad. Yeah, so they separated with my dad, and she went to get married to another man. So after my granny passed away, I went to stay with her, where she was the mom now. So after again 2 years, she also passed away in 2006.
Your mom?
Yes. Yeah, so it's okay. So, and I went back to stay at my granny's place because in our culture, if you are not born there, especially where you are staying, if that is not your dad, it's a taboo to even build a house there. And you can't be welcomed really. Yeah, so I went back to stay at my granny's place. Yes, so
how old are you at this particular time?
I was in class 7. Actually, I was supposed to be in class 8. But because of the burial arrangements, after we were doing the burial for mom, the send-off, so I went back to school, and they told me the registration of KCP is already closed, so you are not able to register for the KCP exam. So you'll have to repeat. You just have to learn, but you won't do the primary, yes, the end of primary exams. So I decided also I won't repeat in that school, so I went to my grandmother's place to repeat there. That was in 2006. So in 2006, I actually, in my grandmother's place, I was staying like alone, like I was taking care of myself because there was no one there really to take care of me. My mom was the firstborn in their family, so her siblings were all in town, the uncles and the aunties. So I just went to stay there alone, but I was going to school, of course. In 2007, I went to class 8. So the KCP came, I didn't do well. I got 310 marks. And I was not able to secure a scholarship because there was no one to pay my school fee in high school. So I repeated again in 2008. Yeah. So I improved in my performance. I got 367. Yes, then the case was still hopeless. My uncles who were in town tried to search for scholarship. They were not able to find for me. So I just went to stay with one of my uncles in Kisumu. So almost everyone had joined Form 1. I was still at home. So there's a scholarship they had applied. They had told me to apply, but not coming on time. So my uncle decided to take me to a day school close to where he stays. Yeah, so he bought a uniform. I think the only pair which was matching was a trouser and a shirt and a tie, but other things, you were just going at the mercies of God. Yeah, so I was accepted. We didn't even pay fees, but the principal of that school accepted that I join as we look for fees. So a few weeks into high school, the scholarship that I had applied responded that I was successful in the application, and therefore they advised that I go to school where I was called, where I received the calling letter, and therefore they paid for the whole of the high school fees. They were paying fees.
From Form 1 to Form 4?
Yes,
wow.
from Form 1 to Form 4. Of course, they were insisting that you must perform well for them to continue paying. So I was trusting God with for good results. Yeah, so I was working hard, but of course I didn't have good performance per se. Actually, I remember in high school, life also was not easy because the only time I saw a parent, a guardian coming to see me was the day he was taking me to school, the day of admission. Yeah, the admission day. No other time. I was never sent home for school fees. So I was just in school the whole time.
Then when you close to go back to your uncle?
Yes, going back to Kisumu at my uncle's place. Yeah, so when I went back to Kisumu during the holidays, I could work during the holidays, doing water vending, working for people, doing vibarua, and then I could get pocket money and also small money to buy shopping. So I continued like that up to Form 4, and by God's grace, I was able to secure a chance to join University of Nairobi, and I went and pursued a Bachelor's of Education Arts.
So are they still paying school fees even in college?
Yes, they paid school fees in college because I had performed well. Their contract was when you perform well, they continue paying, but if you drop in your performance, they drop you. So by God's grace, I was able to do well in high school. I gotten a B+, and I was called by JAB to campus, and therefore they paid. Of course, they also encouraged me to apply for help. So while I was still waiting for help, they paid my admission fee. Yeah, so when help came, it was taken forward to the following year, academic year. So I also studied, I didn't struggle paying fees in college. I major in history and business studies.
So you are a teacher as we speak?
Yes, I am a teacher, a certified teacher. I graduated in 2021. I joined college, University of Nairobi in 2014. That's quite a long time. It's more than actually 7 years. And you'd ask why.
Yes,
I went to do a course which should take
4 years.
Actually 3.5.
Yes.
Because we didn't go for long holidays. We only went for long holiday once. So the course was supposed to take 3.5 years, but I took 7.
Yeah, 2014 to 2021, that's 7.
Yes.
Yeah, I took the same time.
Yes.
We joined the same time in college.
Yes.
But at least me, in between, I had 3 children. What were you doing? What were you doing for 7 years in university? Your school fees is paid.
Yes.
Entirely. From, day one. I mean, in college, you could have hustled. Hata unapata help.
Yes.
So even paying maybe for hostels would have been a bit easy because you have the support.
Yes.
So what happened in 7 years?
Allow me to take you back a little bit. When now my mom passed away in 2006,
yes.
So I went to stay at my grandmother's place for, it was roughly 3 years, because 2006, 2007 and 2008 I was there. And I was alone, so I could, enjoy the freedom that comes with staying alone. And after that, of course, I had known some tricks of, also having a sense of responsibility over my own life. But now, when I joined Form 1, I went to stay with my uncle during the holidays. So I found that a little bit difficult for me, especially now, when I was young, I was staying with my grandmother, and you just know how grandmothers love their grandchildren. And, she was not strict on me. So I only stayed with my mom for close to 2.5 years. Of course, she was very strict. She was a disciplinarian, but, I didn't stay with her for long. Yeah. So I was not used to staying under authority, like somebody really being strict on you. So my high school life was like terrible in my view that time, because now my uncles, they were really real disciplinarians, and it's like they were dictators in quotes. So I didn't enjoy high school life, especially during the holidays, because I knew you would be required to come back in the house. Yes. At such a time. There's a style you should not shave. Yes, there are clothes you should not wear, like you can't sag. Yeah. There are people you can't walk with. And remember, when I was in primary, my company, the people, my friends, they were bad guys. They were people in drugs and crime, just walking around with bad guys. Because also I didn't know about anything concerning church. Yeah. So coming to high school and being, restricted, I didn't enjoy it, but there was nothing I could do, of course. Of course, there are moments I could maybe run away from house after doing my courses and go to watch a movie. Yeah. Those movies for Van Damme and Chuck Norris. Yeah. I could go and maybe after hustling 10 bob, 5 bob, and go and watch a movie, which was a crime to my uncle. So I didn't enjoy my high school life. Yeah. Especially during the holidays when we were home. So when I joined campus, I had all the freedom. In fact, there was even money. So freedom with money, and not having a sense of responsibility. So I wanted to prove my uncles now wrong. I wanted to show them, now you thought you were strict on me, now you see I have the whole life in me, and I'm very far away. Of course, there were some of my relatives in Nairobi, my uncles still, but in campus, I just used to visit them once in a while. So I joined campus, and I still maintained the bad company, in quotes, goons in campus, friends who are just doing drugs and crime and any kind of immoral behavior. And that is how I was introduced into drugs. I remember a certain guy, he was vying for campus, a politics position, and therefore he called me. He saw that I was very vocal and also active. I was having many friends and I was influential, so he called me and told me, I want you to mobilize for me first year so that you can campaign for me so that I win. Of course, I did that, and that is how he introduced us and many other friends of mine to drugs. So the first time I tested drugs was in first year in 2014. Yes, I remember we smoked weed, we drank Muratina, we drank the sachets called Empire,
Yeah.
those time, alcohol from Uganda. But at that time they were being sold at 35 bob, 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is he the one buying them for you?
Yes, he was buying. He was buying.
Yeah.
Yes, he was buying because now he was campaigning.
Yeah.
So we needed to be high so that we can be rowdy around campus and beat people and vandalize campus property. So that is how I started doing drugs. Of course, I was still able to go to few classes in first year, and I did well. In first year, at least I passed most of my units, except I think one unit which I didn't do well. Yeah. So in second year, remember the organization that that was sponsoring me, them they were just paying fees. Yeah, they didn't want anything apart from that. Of course, I could call them and I could explain to them how I am doing with life, but they didn't know what is happening with me up to that point. So there were moments they could call us to their seminars. Everyone who is being sponsored by them, we could be called and they take us to hotels, to conferences, and they could host us. So there's this time when I was in second year, in long holiday, they called us. In fact, it was the holiday for first year. After now doing away with the academic year, now we are in holiday. So we went for a meeting, everyone who is being sponsored by the organization. And we were booked rooms in very expensive hotels. I think it is near AIC Mlimani. It's somewhere around that place. Yeah, because the organization is also located around that area. It is called Heritage Insurance Company. Yeah, so we could spend like 3 days to 1 week, just being taught, being mentored, being taken to recreational facilities like KWS Mamba Village. Yeah. So there's this night, not just being responsible. We had promiscuity with also one of the people who are being sponsored, a lady. We were not girlfriends and boyfriends. We were just friends. Of course, we knew each other because we were being sponsored. Yes. And we had an intercourse and she conceived. She was in high school.
And you were in college?
Yes, me, I'm already done with first year. Yeah, so I'm in holiday. Yes. She's in holiday, but in
Form 4. High school Form 4.
Yes.
So her high school is done like that?
No, she went back. That was in August, so September the schools were open. Okay. She went back to school. She came to realize that she is expecting. When she's in school, she doesn't have a phone. She was in boarding school. She also don't have my number. I also didn't know that she had conceived. So she stayed the whole time. She was able to finish Form 4 exams. Yes. When she came back the same year in December, after schools closed, she called me and told me she is expecting, and so that I should send money so that she aborts. But I didn't know that I had money. In fact, I had a lot of money. The help for the following year had already been disbursed, but I was not aware. I was staying with my uncle that time at Umoja. So I told her I don't have money. Yeah.
So let's go back to this night. Did anyone know that this thing happened?
No one knew.
No one knew.
Yes.
So were you like put together, ladies and men? You organized yourself just like that?
We were in a hotel, so yes. Ladies had their own rooms, men had their own rooms. But now when people went, because we are meeting after several years, so people went to various rooms to visit one another and to check up on them. Yeah, so we went to unlock ourselves in a room with that lady.
I know.
Yeah.
Hey.
And we did it. And then I went back to my room. Yes. In fact, I'm the one who went to her room. Yeah, so I went back to my room and morning
life
came
moved,
and life.
Yeah, life moved on.
Yeah.
Like nothing happened.
Yes, like nothing happened, and yeah, so.
So here she is. She's pregnant.
Yes,
so
she calls me in December. Now she's done with Form 4.
Yeah. So in December, this baby is. In fact, she's almost done with the first trimester of the baby.
Yes, she was like 3.5 months expecting.
So what happened?
So she wants to abort. I told her I don't have money, but let me look for money. If I find, I will send you. But I didn't try to look for money, of course. And
but you didn't try to look for money because you didn't want to take responsibilities, did you? Or you didn't want her to. It's not like you didn't want her to abort.
No, it's not. Yeah, okay. Trying to look for money could also mean that I could clash even with my uncle. How could that happen?
Yes.
You know? But just coming from the perspective of not wanting to be dictated, or rather somebody acting like they are the final say in my life. So I didn't want anything like that to happen to me. I didn't want them to be accountable for me, so I didn't tell them. They were the only people I could share with so that they could assist me with money. But now that I didn't want them to know, I didn't even mention anything like that to them. Yeah.
Okay.
So after a few days, the lady ran away from their home. Because now she also feared that her mom will know that that she's expecting. So she was fearful and ran away from home. But she had alerted her sister that in case anything happens, call this number. So she gave her sister my number. So also they started looking for me, the sister and the mom started looking for me, that I'm the one hiding her. Yet I also didn't know where she is. Yes. It is after 2 days after we had talked, after 2 days, she switched off the phone and she ran away. So me, I went on with life, and the following year now we were joining the second year. Now resuming learning. So I resumed learning, but fortunately, because we are being sponsored by the same organization, that organization is very good, by the way. They looked for her, they found her working somewhere in Githurai as a house help. Yeah, so they were able to convince her to go back home.
Did they know she's pregnant at that time?
Yes, now she had to tell them.
Big enough,
Yeah, she told them. Of course, they called me and I accepted. So the lady went back to their place of residence, and now she was called to the office so that some counseling sessions could be arranged for her. So when she came to Nairobi, I could go to see her in town, and we could. In fact, I was the one taking her to the counseling sessions. Yes, in Westlands.
So you are taking her to the counseling as who?
As the husband.
So what happened to she's still pregnant? She has not
delivered. Yes, she has not delivered. That is January.
So what is she doing in Nairobi na ameambiwa atoke kazi?
No, she's coming just for counseling and going back to Sagana. They were staying in Sagana. So she was not even spending a night. She was coming in the morning for counseling, and then in the evening she goes back. But because of our wickedness, or rather we were not maybe conscious or rather responsible. After counseling session, I could take her to campus with me, and she could spend like a whole week without the knowledge of the sponsor. So she could act like a wife for maybe a week or two before she goes back to Sagana, to their place of residence. And it continued like that until she was done with her counseling sessions. So she delivered in May 2015. Yes. That time I was still in college, I was still in session. Yes, so...
A boy, a girl?
A girl. Yes.
And school? You see now, this is where... this is is why you will never win the conversation of educating a girl child.
Yes.
Because now your life is still moving on.
Yeah.
This person is giving birth,
Yes.
and they're still
Their
at
life
home.
has stopped.
Their life has their life is not like moving at all.
Yes.
You are in your third year now. This is 2015, right?
Yes.
Now you're supposed to be in your third year. So what happened in
No, I am
2015
in
with your school?
I am in second year.
Yeah.
Yes. Me, I am continuing with my school.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you're still doing well in the exams.
I had even dropped going to class. Some classes, I was attending classes once in a while. Yeah, but when she delivered, I didn't go to where she was.
Yes.
Because now she took her own house. She rented her own house near where they had a house in Sagana. So when we went for the long holidays, that was in August.
Yes.
So I went back to Umoja at my uncle's place, and what my uncle surprised me, in fact that thing hurt me so much. They told me, now we are giving you fare, tomorrow you are going home. Where which home?
Yes.
They are telling me to go back where my mom was married. The place I came after burying my mom.
Yes.
So I felt like, this is just like total rejection.
Yes.
You know, how? And remember, I had gone there the previous year in December. After that lady had called me and told me to send money so that I can abort. I didn't. Of course, I didn't have money, but my uncles gave me fare to go home. So I went home. And after arriving home, I found out that I had a lot of money in my account, help, in fact 60,000.
Oh.
So I used that money to also build a house for my dad there, that dad, yes, who had married my mom. They didn't have a house, even my siblings there. So I used everything that I had to build them a house.
Yes.
And when my uncles heard about it, they were furious, and in fact they wanted to beat me.
Yeah.
How could I do something like that without first asking them for permission? So coming back again to the house, they are telling me to go back there. It was like an insult to me, and I was very much hurt.
Yeah.
So they gave me fare. You are going home tomorrow. I came to the house today, and they are giving me a fare. Tomorrow you are going.
You're going.
Yeah,
So you're just sleeping for the night.
Yeah.
Tomorrow you wake up and go back.
Yeah, in fact,
Yeah.
they could have even sent me that very day.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay, it's okay, I will go. So I took the fare. When I arrived at this in town, I diverted to my girlfriend's place in Sagana. I didn't go home, and I switched off the phone, so they could not reach me.
So up to this time, you already now your relationship moved to a girlfriend
Yes.
and boyfriend, because
Yes.
now this one is
Now-
acting as a wife.
Yes.
So are you still in drugs? Are you still?
Yes, I am doing drugs as normal.
Yes.
In fact, even worse.
Ah.
Yeah, so I went there and stayed with her for a week. No, maybe 2 weeks. I tried to look for something to do because she was not working, I was not working. And we had now the baby is there.
Yes.
Remember, that is August, and the baby was born in May. So she was staying in a house which was costing 150 shillings per month.
Yes.
Yeah, so you are still struggling to pay that
150.
yeah, that rent, and even food. I remember she could go to work at a bakery, the one that cooks donuts. Yes, and she could come back with a packet of donut, and we could drink water with that, hot water. Yeah, and we could call it a day. So I tried to look for work, Mjengo. I was not successful.
Why? Because you couldn't do, or you couldn't get?
There was no work. There was no work.
Yes.
I tried to look for schools so that I could teach. No schools were accepting my application. So finally I landed a job in a bar. In a bar in Sagana, yes. So I could work in a bar from morning up to 10 in the night.
So school is done. You are not going back to school again.
No, I'm in the holiday.
In the long holiday.
Yes.
Okay.
That is still September now.
Yes.
Yes, I'm supposed to resume school the following year,
Yeah,
in
in
2016 now.
Okay.
Yeah, so I worked in that bar for close to 3 weeks. Of course, they were supposed to pay me end month 5,000. But I worked, it did not finish the whole month there. What was annoying, especially to that lady, was that I was coming back to the house very drunk every day, because a person comes to buy alcohol and they also buy for me.
Yes.
They don't give me money, they
Yeah.
just buy for me. You drink, they give me like 2 jugs of keg.
Yes.
Yeah, I know you don't know what that means.
Don't.
Yeah, it's
I
like 2
don't.
jugs of alcohol, beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's cheap beer. It's 60 bob per jug.
Yeah.
So I could drink that and go back to the house very drunk in the night, and then wake up very early, because we were reporting at 6 a.m.
And you came back at 11 p.m.
Yes, very drunk. So I continued like that for 3 months, for 3 weeks. And then my friend who had recruited me in drugs, he of course he won the seat, the political seat. He was now the campus representative. So he was in authority. He had secured a shop, a tag shop in campus. So he wanted me to go and manage it for him. So he called me, asked me where I am in a position to come back to campus and work for him in that kiosk, which I accepted very fast. He sent me fare and I left the lady and the child in Sagana and came to Kikuyu campus to now work there. Yeah, so I worked there for 2 weeks, and then I rented a house outside the campus, and then I took the lady and the baby.
Oh.
I brought them so that we could continue staying together. Yeah, so I worked in that tag shop for the next few weeks, and because of friends could visit me in that shop and they could steal without my knowledge. Yes. They could because now the shop also had M-Pesa, so they could see the M-Pesa pin when I was doing transactions. So I remember a friend could come and send money for himself and delete the message. So when we are doing the stock taking in the evening, every time there's a shot, maybe of 2,000 or 1,500 or 500 every day, and that could be deducted from the salary.
Yes. So
I was going at a loss every day, and I just quitted that kind of job.
Yes.
Yeah, so now I am there. There's that lady, there's the child, there's the rent. I don't have a job. So that is when now I entered into the business of selling drugs.
Oh.
Yes.
So you have graduated. Now you're already into drugs, drinking and drug. Now you start selling.
Yes, now I start selling, because at that time I had also gone very deep into drugs. So I was spending a lot of money in drugs. So I realized, no, instead of buying all these drugs that I'm using, I can just go and buy at a wholesale, so that at least I save some money.
Yeah.
And also I'm able to give people when they ask me.
So you are still taking wind?
No.
What is it? What drugs?
Oh, that time? Yes, that time it was weed, it was alcohol, it was mirror, it was cigarette. Yes. Including Chavez, Kuber, name them. Yeah, so,
I don't know those but yeah.
Yeah, so I started now selling drugs as a source of livelihood. By that time I had forgotten about studies. I was no longer attending classes. Yes, I was just selling drugs, and of course the drugs were also not helping much, especially in terms of catering for the bills.
Yeah.
I had entered into crime. I could steal people's laptops, phones, even hoovers, electronics, even iron boxes, and
so
I
this
could
is
sell.
In campus?
Yes, that is now. I am now in 3rd year, 2016. Yes, my group had come back from long holiday. Now we are in 3rd year, but me, I have left schooling. So of course I'm still in campus, but just selling drugs and doing other other things.
So ulikuwa umejua mpaka the vendors where you can buy in wholesale?
Yes, I had known even Limuru, I had known Kangemi, Kibera, Kayole, Ndonyo, Dagoretti Market. So I had known very many places where I could find drugs at a cheap price and come to sell them in campus. Yes.
So who are your clients?
The students.
The students in campus?
Yes, the students. And I was even selling to the staff, the campus staff. Yes, even the security officers in the campus could buy from me. So I was like a cartel. The goons, they could get it from me.
So what was your typical day like? Like umeamka asubuhi?
I did have like a night or a day.
Yeah.
Because I could maybe go to Limuru at 2 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
2 a.m. in the night and take drugs, and I could come back around 5 or 6 and prepare them. Then at 7 I start now supplying.
Does your wife know you're doing this?
Yes, I was doing it in the house.
And she's okay?
She was also assisting me even sell when I'm not there and somebody comes to buy drugs. And she sells to them.
My goodness. Is she taking them?
No, she was not taking them.
Okay.
Yeah. So after I had prepared them, I could supply the whole day. Then in the evening now we could drink the whole of that money with my friends. Up to maybe 1.
Yeah.
So I could maybe rest for an hour and then the next hour go again for drugs.
Yeah.
So that was my lifestyle. Just walking around delivering drugs and also being called to where bashes are. You just know campus life with bash. You know, where there was partying, I was there. I was in every part delivering drugs and also going to just drink there. Yeah, so that one continued up to 2017. Now when it reached 2017, when I was in 4th year.
So you managed to do school in 2016?
I am just in school, I am not learning.
But now are you going to the 4th year and you are not learning, you are not doing exams?
The years have already progressed. I'm supposed to be in 4th year, but literally, technically, I don't have the results. Yeah, so, but I went for teaching practice that 2016.
Yeah.
So in 4th year, first semester, fast forward, this campus security finally caught up with me. Of course, they knew I am the drug peddler, I am the drug lord there, but they were not able to catch me, especially because of lack of evidence. Also, I was in the company of bad guys. If you could not touch me. Yes, you first had to deal with those bad guys before you reach me. So, because they also feared a university student, the security just avoided me. So one evening I left my bag which had weed and every kind of drug with my friend, and I went to class that day. And coming back from class at 5, I found the security, the whole of the campus security crew holding that bag. I said, well, now today is the day. So I didn't do anything. I just went back to the house and wore a sweater. I didn't have a sweater and wore a sweater. And I came back to campus and I owned up. I told them.
No one escorted you, no, you just told them, let me go and wear a sweater.
In fact, I didn't even talk with them.
Yes.
Yes, I just went to the house direct and came back.
Yeah.
And then I told them, I saw you holding my bag. It is mine. Yeah, so they interrogated me. I accepted that everything in that bag is mine. In that bag there were alcohol, there were bang, many rolls of weed, there were knives, there were even my identity cards, national ID, school ID. I was sick that time with wounds from fights. I was fighting every day. A day could not pass without fights. So I was very much sick that time. I had a lot of wounds on my face, my body all over. Yes.
What are the knives for in the bag?
For fighting.
Oh.
Yes.
Not for stealing, like, you know, you're going to steal somewhere, you use the pangas to protect yourself.
Of course, also for protection,
Yes.
but majorly for fights. Yeah, so.
Who are you fighting?
My colleagues and even people who want to maybe joke with me.
Yes.
Yes. You know, you can't, of course, be a friend with everyone. There are those people who will always oppose what you do. So I didn't want any opposition to stand on my way. So I was fighting literally every day, and I could just abuse people. I come and find you sitting like this. I beat you. I tell you, why are you not smoking weed? And in fact, I could even give you weed for free. Smoke, why are you not smoking?
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I recruited very many people into smoking and in crime. Because I could like ridicule them. Why are you not smoking? Are you not a human being? Why are you a human being and you are not smoking? Yeah, so that was the life. So I was sick that time. And the drugs was there, the medicine. Even my phone.
Even your phone?
Was in that bag. So it could take more effort to convince them that those were not my property than just accepting.
Yes.
So I accepted. And they called the police. I was taken to the Kikuyu police station. Yes, that very moment.
Yes. We are still at night.
Yes, in the evening now. Yeah, so I spent the night in the Kikuyu police station. Of course, that was just one of the many times I had spent in the police cell. Sometimes I was taken there because of stealing, sometimes because of fighting, sometimes because of creating disturbance after being drunk. But this time round it was exceptional because now I am found with many drugs.
And you have the evidence.
The evidence is there.
Yeah. So you were taken to the police station?
Yes, I was taken to the police station and I spent the night there. So during the night I called my uncle, who is a magistrate. By God's grace, he was in Nairobi. By that time he was working in Marsabit, but he had visited his family in Nairobi. So I told him I'm in a police station because I cheated him that I'm just here by mistake. The things they are accusing me for, I don't know. Yeah, so I told him somebody placed drugs in my bag because he didn't know I'm smoking.
Yeah.
So he came the following day and bailed me out. He took me to campus. That was on a Saturday now. The campus security showed him my life, how it has always been. Of course, he didn't doubt because I was no longer going to his house in Umoja. In fact, he told the security that this child don't normally come to I've not seen him for a while. Yeah, so, but the security said, you wait for a letter, we will expel you from the campus hostel. They thought I am staying in the campus hostel, yet I had moved out long time ago.
Because you have a wife and a child.
Yes, I have a wife and a child. And
does your uncle know you have a wife and child?
Now he had to know that time.
At that time when you were taken by the police?
Yes. So my uncle went to his house and to his place in Umoja. Yes, I went back to the house. Yes.
To your house?
Yes, to my house next to campus.
So there is nothing that he has just bailed you out?
Yes, he has just bailed me out.
And this is something that had happened. Hizo times zingine ukishikwa nani alikuwa
I was the friends whom we were doing those dirty stuffs with, we could contribute money, or rather sometimes we could just spend in the police cells for many days and then we could be left for free. Especially when it was a light case of maybe something like drinking and creating disturbance. Yeah, that one we knew even if we are taken to court, we won't be charged. So we could spend maybe 3 days or 4 days in the cells and then be left, just go home.
Okay.
So because this time they wanted a lot of money, that is why I involved my uncle. They wanted 30,000. And looking around, I could not raise that money, even with friends. Yeah, so my uncle was disappointed with me. In fact, he didn't even say bye. After coming from campus, he just left.
Yeah.
So I went back to the house and waited for, it took around 1 week, and the campus called me that I've been suspended from the hostels, which I was not even staying in that hostel. I had sold it to another module 2, a student. So I just told that person who I had sold the room for that this room is now taken, you can find somewhere to live. Yeah, so after being suspended from the hostel, I was called again to come and pick another letter, which now required me to attend a disciplinary hearing. Yes, with the campus,
Yes.
to determine whether I am guilty or innocent. So they arranged a date for that. That time I was in 4th year, first semester. In fact, we had started doing the exams, the first semester exams. So I was stopped from taking part in any campus activity, including exams. So I attended the disciplinary hearing after 3 months, in fact. Yes. So after the disciplinary committee, they told me to keep away from campus premises until I will receive a letter to determine whether I am innocent or guilty. So
there is no police involved in this case?
No,
it's
there's
just
no
the
police.
campus?
Yes, just the campus.
Okay.
So that was in 2017.
Yes.
That was around August now, the disciplinary committee hearing. So you can wait for some time in campus. There's a lot of bureaucracy. So I waited. In 3rd term that year, that 2017, in September, I landed a job in Kino Girls as a teacher. So at least I was able to keep myself busy.
Yeah.
Yes, so I kept myself busy. I taught in that school for that the whole of the 3rd term.
Yeah.
Still waiting for the feedback from campus. So the following year in 2018, now I had, the job has ended. I don't have a job. I am no longer a student.
You still have a wife?
The wife had left few weeks to, in fact, 2 weeks before being caught
Why did
at
they
campus.
Oh,
Yes.
why? What happened?
Actually, it's a long story. You know this lady, when we started staying together,
Yes.
she was paid, her college fees was paid by the same organization which sponsored us to do, she was sponsored to do catering and accommodation, a short course, a certificate course. So she was coming from the house and going to Westlands every day. Then after she went there for 6 months, she studied for 6 months and finished and gotten her paper. After that, she started now working. Now she had money, so I didn't really have much authority over her. So sometimes she could go to work and spend some time there, and we could remain with the baby. Yeah, so sometimes she could go with the baby, take the baby to her grandmother in Sagana, and then I could go for the baby in Sagana and bring her, and then she could come back maybe after 2 weeks or 1. So this time I went to Sagana to take the baby, and calling her number, the lady's number, it is another man receiving, another man telling me, you know, even me, I don't know where she is. And it is her number that I'm calling. I was disappointed. Yeah, but just took the baby and came back with her.
So before I lose it, so you are teaching in a school as you wait for the campus ruling.
Yes.
Are you still into drugs? Or
Yes,
what?
I am deep down into drugs. In fact, I was even deeper.
So are you introducing your students that you're teaching into drugs?
No, I was not going with drugs to school. I could just smoke in the morning and then go, then come back. I
So
smoke and continue selling.
Oh yeah.
To the campus students, not high school.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, so because now when I called her number, it is the man that received. I was disappointed and hurt also. So, but I came back with the baby.
Yeah.
So that time the baby was around 2.5 years.
Yeah.
The child was 2.5 years. So that is when now I was suspended. When I came back with the child alone, her mom was not there. So, but I was staying with my brother. So that night I spent in the police cells. It is my brother who remained with that child in the house. So I called her, I told her I am arrested, I am in the police cells, but the child is with my brother. She was disappointed, she insulted me. Now look what you are doing to this child. But she came after 2 days now, after I had been bailed out and my uncle had bailed me out and left me in the house. And she took the baby and left.
Yeah.
I have never seen her again.
Up to today.
Yeah, so I was torn between two. Do I run after my studies? Do I run after the baby? Do I look for a job?
Yeah.
What do I do? I was depressed. But thankfully, I've told you, I gotten that job in Kino Girls, but I only taught for that term. Then in 2018, now I don't have a job, I don't have a family. There's nowhere I can go to.
Yeah.
Now my uncles have rejected me.
Yes.
That was the moment I could just spend in the railway down at the campus. You know, I could just literally spend in the bush alone, because now I had many friends and they are now gone. I can't sell drugs for them. They have told me not to step in campus premises. I'm still waiting for the letter to determine whether I am guilty or innocent.
Yeah.
So I don't have clients, I don't have money, I don't have any job, I don't have family. I was very much depressed, but thankfully I was not able to commit. In fact, I contemplated on committing suicide, but I was not able to commit suicide.
Yeah.
So I could spend the whole day just in the railway lines, in the forest. I could see somebody smoking, I could go and ask them for maybe few puffs of bang so that I could just cool down my thoughts, my anxiety.
Because now you're not even able to buy now drugs.
I don't have money.
Yeah. What happened to the organization sponsoring you? Sasa wamesha withdraw.
They had paid the fee in excess up to 4th year. In fact, they finished paying my fees when I was in 2nd year. You see, this is now in 4th year, when I've already paid the whole academic fees.
Yes.
I had excess that time, so everything with fees was sorted, only that I was not the one learning. Yeah, so I told them that I am suspended from campus, and they were equally disappointed.
Yeah.
So in 2018, my uncle, who stays in Mombasa, sent me fare to go to his place in Mombasa so that he could give me some job. I told him I don't have a job and there's nothing I am doing in Nairobi. So he sent me fare to go to Mombasa. I went to Mombasa. Yes, I stayed with him for like a month and then moved out. I applied for a teaching job in Mombasa, and I gotten it. He was not able to give me a job because now, you know, I was not in good shape. Nobody could trust me.
Yeah.
I was a drunkard, a criminal.
Yes.
I think he even feared that he could not let me get involved in his affairs and in his what he was doing. So I applied for a teaching job. I landed one. That is how I stayed in Mombasa for like 7 months. Yes. So from January to July. Now that is when now the campus is calling me to go for the verdict, the disciplinary verdict. Yes, almost a year later.
Yes.
In fact, it was more than a year later. So I left everything. I left my teaching job in Mombasa because I was now very happy. At least now I'm going
Back to
campus.
school.
In fact, they cheated me. Yeah, this is a good letter. It is a letter to call you back to campus. Yet it was a verdict now that I'm officially suspended from campus for 4 years. Those were 1,000 academic days. They were supposed to be 3.5 years, but Corona added so that they were 4. So when I left everything in Mombasa, I left the job, I came running to Nairobi to resume learning.
And you haven't changed even when you're coming?
No, I am a drunkard. In fact, I was drinking every salary, every coin. Yes, the school I was teaching in Mombasa, they could give us allowance. So I could take allowance every week 2,000, every week 3,000, and drinking it. So end month is coming, I only left with rent, which is 1,500. And the cycle continues.
Yeah.
So I was even deep into drugs and crime. So coming back, I thought I'm now going back to campus. It was a shocker for me because now the verdict was clear. You are suspended from campus for 1,000 academic days. That was in 2018, July. Yeah, so it was hard to accept that reality.
Yeah.
Now that I had nowhere to go, I don't have a house now in Nairobi.
Yeah.
But I was remaining with few. I had 4,000. Yes, which I came with from Mombasa. I took a house in Kino. Yes, in fact in cooperative along Wayaki Way. I rented a house there which costed 3,700, and I remained with 300. I bought some food which I was able to eat with that for around a week. The remaining 300. Yeah, but I just had a house. It's a hall. I don't have a mattress. I just have my clothes.
Yeah.
So I could sleep on my clothes for that month.
Yeah.
The month of July. Yes, the month of July. I could sleep in my house. Of course, I could pay a visit to my friends who are around Kikuyu. I knew them. And I could eat at their place. Sometimes I could just spend, hungry. The verdict was categorical that I should attend a counseling session. Yes, I should, before resuming now campus, after the 4 years, I should now have attended counseling sessions. And remember, I was taking my girlfriend to that counseling session in Westlands.
Yes.
So I knew it. So that month, I was going to that place and I explained to them my situation. They accepted to counsel me for free. So I would walk from cooperative to Westlands once a week and receive some counseling. And I could,
willingly, it was.
Yes, I was willing to change.
Are you still taking drugs?
Yes, I was deep into drugs. I'm just going for counseling, but after that I go back to drinking.
So let me ask, mpaka sahi, do you feel like your life, so after you've gone all through these things,
Yes.
do you feel like your life is a mess? Do you feel, now you feel rejection, you feel all these things that are happening around, you've lost your family, you have nothing. What is that feeling inside you? May contemplate suicide? Ni nini iko kwa mafikira yako hata wakati unajipeleka counseling? Because many people don't want to go for counseling just because they don't want to change. Did you have a space ulikuwa unajaribu kuchange inakataa, ama what was happening? Ama kujipeleka huko ilikuwa inasema
it was a formality because it was what was required. It was not that I wanted to change. Me, I was just doing a formality.
Yes.
But according to me, I was just okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with me. It is other people who are seeing something wrong with me. Me, I'm okay. Me, I'm okay with the drugs because I am able even to be alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at some point I felt very much useless because you are contemplating, you have lost a family, you have lost schooling, you can't, and you are useless, you can't even pay rent. At some point I felt I'm very much useless, and I even justified the fact that I was rejected. Nobody could really accept such a person, in my view. So sometimes I was harsh on myself. Sometimes I just thought, this life is that way. Also considering the fact that I was really, I'm just taking responsibility for what I had done. No one will serve those terms for suspension. I have to serve them. But sometimes I was really heartbroken and just down. Yeah, I was very much depressed. Sometimes I could even fight the walls. I could lock myself in the room and just beat. If you look at my hands, you will see the cracks. I was beating the walls, fighting with the wall and just bleeding.
Yeah.
Because now I had a lot of depression and nowhere to take them. Yeah, but that month ended, the month of July. Now I don't have money, I don't have job to pay for the next month.
Yeah.
So I
And you're
had,
still going for the counseling?
the counseling had also ended.
Okay.
I just went there for a few sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so without paying, they accepted to cancel me for free.
For free, yeah.
Yeah, they told me not to worry about the money. So it's organization called Youth for Christ in Westlands. Yeah. So I had to go home.
Which home?
Now,
Which home?
the previous year in 2017,
Yes.
I had tried to look for my dad. Remember, the last time we were with my dad was when I was 2 years.
Yes.
So
Oh, you're
now my biological father.
Mm.
So I had tried to look for her the previous year, which I succeeded. And that was also one of the reasons my uncles didn't accept me, because they thought my dad has not been there for me like the whole of my life. They thought they're the ones who have been taking care of me, and then it was like an insult to them. How do I go ahead and look for such a person who has not been there, literally? But I told them, he's my dad, that's the reality, that can't change even if he's not been there. So I went ahead and looked for him. He was working in somebody's home as a shamba boy. So I had found him the previous year, the year I was suspended.
Yes.
After being suspended, I had looked for him and I found him. So this year, 2018, I have nowhere to go. I haven't paid rent. So I went to where he was working, in that home, very near to also our home in Siaya. So we stayed with him for August. In August, the whole of August, we stayed with him. And then when I was home that August, my friend who he was campus mate, we were in the same college, but he was ahead of me. He told me there's a teaching vacant in Muranga if I'm willing to take it. So I went to Muranga in a school called Gakoi Secondary School. Yes. Of course, I faked that I had finished campus, which was a lie.
Yeah, you didn't even have the certificate.
Yes, but because they needed a teacher, they just, by God's grace, they just accepted me, and I taught there for the whole of that third term. I was standing in for a teacher of history and business. She was in maternity leave. So the whole of that term I taught there. I was staying around the school. It was a day school, so I just took a house near that school.
And you're still not changed?
I have not changed.
Yeah.
In fact, every coin is going to drugs.
To drugs.
Yes, they were paying me good money, but it was all going to drugs and women. Yeah, so that was in 2018 up to December.
Yeah. So wait, you mentioned women. You are still into women after this one left?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm having many girlfriends, just drinking with them, buying for them drugs.
Alcohol, like the rich person.
Yes, like
in the
that.
society.
Yes, even my male friends, I could spoil them.
Yeah.
So the third term ended, and now the teacher will come back the following year. Now I have nowhere to go. Yeah. So I had to go back home to my dad. Yes, now in December, during the Christmas holiday, back to my dad at home.
Yeah.
And I stayed with him for that December Christmas holiday in January the following year, 2019. Yes. So when his boss came from Nairobi, because the boss was staying in Nairobi, started quarreling him. How can you come to stay in my home with your family?
Your family.
Me, I only employed you.
Yeah.
How comes you are also coming with your kids? And so because we were able to see that, In fact, I had even taken my sister to my dad. The one, my mom left my dad when she was expecting my sister.
Oh.
The one who is
After you.
Yes.
Yes.
So that we share the same dad, the two of us.
Okay.
So I had taken her there also. So we were three of us, myself, my sister and my dad.
Yes.
So the boss was not happy.
Yeah.
So we left that place and we left our dad there the following year in January.
You went where?
I came back to Kikuyu. I was hosted by my friend whom we were classmates in campus. Yes, he was staying around campus, so I came back. So I was doing nothing in the house. He was working in campus as he was doing cyber business. Yes, just printing, doing photocopies for the students. But me, I could just spend in the house sleeping, also going to campus, stealing people's phones, doing drugs, literally doing nothing, just waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Passing,
living
like
aimlessly.
just passing time.
Yeah, passing time.
Yeah.
So there's a time I told God, God, I think I am being useless. I want to do something which will make me come out of this place.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I just want to do something which will make me come out of this place and permanently never to come back here. Yeah. So I went to campus and stole.
So and stole?
And stole a phone. Yes.
Then what happened?
So instead of selling the phone like I used to do, I used to steal a phone, even laptops, and the following day or even the same day take them to town, River Road, and sell them.
Yes.
I inserted my line in that phone and I entered WhatsApp, Facebook the same time.
Yes.
So when I'm chatting with people, it is the lady's picture. It was a lady's phone. That is my Facebook account. It is her. I was chatting using her Facebook account. Yes, yet she's saying her phone is stolen. And they knew me, of course. They knew I was a household name there in campus. So they knew even where we were staying with, where I was being hosted. So she mobilized the police. She reported to the campus security. She reported to her friends. And now the police were on me.
So this is which year? 2020?
2019.
2019.
Yes, January.
My goodness.
Yes.
So what happened?
So the police are on me. They want now to arrest me because now they know this is the guy who stole this phone and he's using it. But when I realized, because I tried to weigh, should I take the phone back to her? That will mean something else. So let me just sell this phone. So I went and sold the phone in town. Yes. After selling the phone, the police now didn't have any evidence. Yes, they know this is the thief, but there's no evidence. So they tried to fix me so that they could pin me with other crime like drugs. So I was even playing safe. I could not go now to peddlers. Yes, I could just smoke when I was very sure that I am secure, that the police are not able to pin me down. They tried even fixing me with my friends. They were collaborating with my very close friends. They were not able because now my instincts were very sharp.
Yes.
Until now the police were defeated. Yes, there's a time the police were on me the whole day from morning to evening.
Yes.
And I was also aware of their plans. So there's a time they were coming after me and they thought I will go to Dagoretti market to buy drugs, but I knew they were following me, so I decided to pretend that I am exercising along the southern bypass. So I could run from Togoto to Karen and again come back many rounds just running along the highway. But I'm seeing them, they are watching me to see whether I will enter somewhere. So I ran like that from noon to evening to 7 p.m.
Yes.
So they were not able to pin me down that day. But now coming back to the house that day in the evening at 7 p.m. I found the mob justice waiting for me in the house.
Oh.
Yes. Now fellow the friends
her
of the lady, yeah.
Yes.
Because now she had tried everything, it was not working, so they were tired with me. Let us kill this guy. This guy is too much.
Yeah.
So they were waiting for me, mob justice. Many students with rungus, with pangas, with stones, with torch. It was now 7:30. So I ran up to the railway and I hid myself in a small bush. They looked for me, they searched for me. A mob of like 50 people, 50 students.
Yes.
And they were standing right where I was. They were looking for me with torches, with rooms, and they could not see me. And I was not even hiding. You didn't need to struggle to see me.
Yeah.
But they didn't see me.
Yeah.
They looked for me from 8 p.m. up to midnight.
And they couldn't find
They couldn't find me, and I'm seeing them like this, and it's an open place, really. It's a small bush.
What about your friend who is hosting you? Was he part of the mob?
I don't know. You know, they were very many. Maybe, maybe he was, because he was also involved in trying to pin me down.
Yeah.
I had noticed that.
Yeah.
In fact, a day earlier, and I knew I was not safe even in his house.
Yes.
So I think he was.
So what happened after 12? They got tired and left?
And left.
Yes.
And I continued to stay there up to 8
a.m. in the morning.
And then I went back to the house. I told my friend, I can't continue staying here.
Yeah.
Yes, my life is in danger.
Yes.
I have to run for my life. But I don't know where I am going. Me, I'm just going. I don't know whether I am going. So I went to town around 3. Around 3, yes, a.m.
So what are you going to do to town?
Just going there, because now my life is in danger here.
Yeah.
Can't continue being in.
So it's 3 a.m. you're going to town to where? To the streets?
Yes. So
Okay.
when I arrived in town, I tried to contemplate, should I be a street child here or somewhere else?
in another town?
Yes, because and then I came to realize, when I become a street child in Nairobi, the police might even shoot me.
Yeah.
Because now they know the crime I had done, and it might be difficult. I might die anytime soon.
Yes.
So, but I didn't have fare to go anywhere.
Yeah.
So I tried to ask for money from one of the employees who was working in the company which sponsored us. She was my friend, certain woman called Joy Kaguri. Of course, she had left that company way earlier, even before we had finished schooling, but we were still in touch. She was godly, so she was like a mother to me.
Yes.
I constantly asked her for money, and she was faithfully sending me money. Yes.
She didn't know it was going into drugs.
She didn't know.
Yeah.
Yes. So this time round, I tell her, I'm thinking of starting a business of selling coffee and mandazi. But what is remaining? I have bought unga, I have bought, now what is remaining is the jug for putting coffee. And she knew if she could support me to start that business, at least I could not now disturb her every now and then, that she should send money. So she decided to just send me money immediately, 1,500. I told her I'm only left with a balance of 1,500 so that I can start business. So she sent that very moment, and I boarded a bus to Kisumu. Yes, I was running for my life.
Yes.
I carried literally nothing. I was only wearing a t-shirt. So I went to Kisumu. I arrived in Kisumu. I have nowhere to go. Of course, my uncle was still there, but I could not go to his place.
Yes.
He's a no-nonsense person.
And up to this now, your family knows all the things that you've been doing.
Yes, they know, and they don't want anything to do with me. They think I am a criminal, and I might even maybe influence their children in a bad way. Which I also didn't want to go to their place. yeah, I thought that would not work well. In fact, even for me. So I just stayed in the streets in Kisumu for a week, just sleeping in the streets, spending in the streets with no clothes to change, no food, but I could beg a few people around in the hotels. Yes. So one time I decided to go to the place where we were staying when I was in high school. I was staying in Kisumu
Yes.
with my uncle. So I went to that plot and I talked with the landlord and I asked him, by the way, I don't have anywhere to stay. Can you lend me a house? But I will give you money when I find. He asked me, where on earth have you seen somebody lending a house?
Yeah.
Especially for the first man. So he didn't do that. He didn't give me somewhere to sleep. He told me to go and look for money and come back.